and welcome to MorningFile. I'm your host, Emma McCarty, and today I am speaking with Jessica Compton, the founder and director of Tree of Stars. So to start, could you maybe just explain what Tree of Stars is? Tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
Yeah, so Tree of Stars, I am the founder and director back in April of 2017, promoting mental health and addiction recovery by telling our stories through music, art, and resources. Obviously, before the pandemic, we were out in the community doing different events with art and music, hugging events, giving back to the community, even with free produce, anything that helps. But yeah, and currently we're just doing everything online right now, so the way of the world. But so just offering online support on TikTok. So we're live over there Monday to Friday. And then on Instagram, we have interviewed about 300 musicians since March of 2020. So it's been really busy and a lot of fun.
Wow. So you said you started back in 2017. Where did you kind of come up with the idea to start talking with musicians and artists?
Yeah, so I've been, my dad was a DJ, so I was surrounded by music my whole life. But in Hamilton, I've been here almost 20 years, just supporting musicians locally, going to their events and supporting them in ways like where I've helped out with CD release parties, helping sell merchandise or just promoting their events. So I found that there was, not enough support out there for peer support. I suffer from different mental illness as well, but in aspects of music, it's such a great therapy and just helping musicians navigate and supporting them. So yeah, it's been a progress, I guess you could say, from the beginning to the start, and I kind of just let it organically be.
Yeah, that's awesome. You mentioned it a little bit quickly, but what did it kind of look like before COVID, and how have you managed to transition into a virtual world?
Yeah, I was like, I was really disappointed, and I really didn't know the unknown of how long this was going to happen. So, I guess in aspects of like marketing or branding, I would reach out to sponsored ad of musicians, and supporting them. So just interviewing them, how they're doing, like check-ins, asking them what they're doing for self-care. Like I said, I use the word navigation is just, musicians are so used to just being up on stage and going out in a community, whereas online is a community. So I've interviewed people from, Australia, Germany, all over. So I would literally look for sponsored ads to help out those musicians, to build our community and be a village, really.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like you said, no one had any idea how long this was going to last going into this, so really had to adapt. How would you say then that you've seen from musicians and people within the community, how has COVID impacted their mental health, and maybe what are they doing or how are they coping?
Yeah, so I mean, I have pretty standard questions that I ask, and it really is only a 5-minute interview, and then I get them to perform. But and if they perform 3 songs and they do the interview, I pay them $25. But in aspects of that is just trying to get them on Spotify, and then also having the funds to do all that recording. Even when you look at bands that are separated, it's like, well, how are you going to be a solo drummer on virtual? So like even the duets, I guess you could say, on TikTok, but how is that actually going to make you some money? So what I've done is I have food sponsorship. So I have restaurants that actually like feed me, and then I take my grocery money and I utilize that to pay musicians. So I'm utilizing my grocery money, but I'm also promoting, you'll see on my page, I promote a lot of like food places, but they're my sponsorships so that I can help musicians around the world and pay for their online gig.
Yeah, that's awesome, especially in this time, like everybody helping everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So where are you kind of looking to take Tree of Stars in the future, or maybe post COVID, what are you hoping to do?
I think one of the bigger events is I really just miss having, I've released a charity album. I had 14 different female musicians lend me a song. We gave all the funds to the Youth Wellness Center in Hamilton on James Street. So that was in 2018. So I guess my long term would just to keep promoting musicians. I mean, if we're going to be in COVID for, this COVID world for like the next year or so, who knows? But, and just internationally, I would love to be like an international charity for online musicians to gig.
Yeah, that's awesome. Especially, I know obviously you started it before any of the world changed, but it's something that can be so useful and adapt in these times.
I just want to mention one thing that I do, if anybody is watching this and they want to reach out, even as a musician, if they're struggling with any kind of like food or anything like that, I also deliver for small scale farms. It's free produce. I drop it off right at their doorstep. So last week there was a musician, I knew that she was struggling. I went to her doorstep and I dropped off like four bags of free produce. So just in aspects, even if it's that locally, obviously I'm here in Hamilton, I can't deliver apples to Germany, but
Yeah, that's awesome. So maybe then my last kind of big question for you is, if you could give one piece of advice for anyone watching this struggling with their mental health, what would you say?
Yeah, so just make sure that you put yourself number one. And by doing that is just self-care. So if that's like taking a mental health day, or if it's having 3 baths in one day, or if it's, connecting with a friend and social distancing and getting some movement, making sure that you're just mindful of what you're putting in your body. And then the last piece is just knowing that, you're not a burden, and then you can reach out. And even with myself as a resource, there's tons and tons of virtual peer support. There's also a lot of international support. So if they need that support, I can direct them to the right way.
Thank you so much to Jessica Compton, the founder and director of Tree of Stars, for talking with me today about mental health awareness within the arts community. For more information about Tree of Stars, you can click the link below or visit any of their social media pages. As always, for more MorningFile content, you can visit cfmu.ca.